This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by. This is the broadcast from City Hall, the home of the Greater London Authority. Please stand by.
Good morning, everybody. Vice Lord Lieutenant, esteemed guests and friends, I welcome you on behalf of the Greater London Authority, the Mayor of London and London Assembly members to City Hall to celebrate this historic occasion of the coronation of their Majesties, King Charles III and Queen Camilla. I must start by saying thank you to the amazing Soul Sanctuary Gospel Choir, who sang such a beautiful opening for our event today. We are honoured to be joined today by Vice Lord Lieutenant Colonel Jane Davis, whom I am sure will pass on our good wishes to their Majesties. We also have representatives from London's faith communities and those of none, and young people from 2 of the King's patronages. Our invited guests include leaders and elected mayors of London's boroughs, commissioners and chief executives of the GLA's functional bodies, current and former Assembly members, and Greater London Authority staff. We welcome you all. The coronation of our new sovereign is an occasion for pageantry and celebration that has remained essentially the same over 1,000 years. We are all witness to this exciting time in history, which will undoubtedly leave a legacy for people in years to come. Now, there is probably not anyone here today who witnessed Queen Elizabeth's coronation, or anyone who can really remember it, at least. But many of us have witnessed the Jubilees since in her name, including, of course, last summer's Platinum Jubilee. These occasions have the ability to bring people and communities together in celebration, reminding us of the things we shared rather than what divided us. And now, with the coronation of their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Camilla, Londoners especially have the opportunity not only to come together again in celebration, but to welcome visitors and show again this incredible city across the world. We look forward to this new Carolean era, which, as with any time of change, gives us the opportunity to reflect and look forward to the future with hope. So I now would like to introduce the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you with us at City Hall to mark this truly historic milestone in our nation's history. In particular, I also want to welcome Colonel Jane Davis, who's here in her capacity, as we've heard, as the Vice Lord Lieutenant of Greater London, representing His Majesty the King. Our new sovereign, as many of you will know, is a profoundly spiritual man with a constitutional responsibility as a defender of the faith. But for many years, the King has expressed a sincere desire to also serve as protector of all faiths. In keeping with that ethos, I'm delighted we're joined this morning by friends from our Christian, Jewish, Hindu, Sikh, Muslim and humanist communities. No other city in the world can compete with London when it comes to staging events on the scale of the coronation. But the success of these great spectacles isn't down to chance. On the contrary, they demand months of intense planning and the tireless dedication of countless people. So, first and foremost, I want to express my thanks to everyone involved, including those working across the coronation weekend in our emergency services and on our transport network. This weekend will, of course, be a moment of shared celebration, but one tinged with some sorrow as thoughts naturally turn to our beloved and longest reigning monarch. On behalf of London, I wish to once again offer our heartfelt condolences to the royal family on the loss of Her Majesty the Queen. Her late Majesty will never be forgotten by Londoners. Indeed, we have now not one, but 2 transport lines named in her honour, and will forever be grateful for the unwavering and resolute support she provided our city through good times and bad. During this period of change, we take great heart in knowing that we will again have a sovereign who shares a lifelong connection and commitment to London. We've been honoured to welcome His Majesty the King on several occasions in the capital in recent months, and whether it's a trip to a community kitchen in Harrow, a tour of the East End, or to stand in solidarity with our city's Syrian and Turkish diaspora communities following the terrible earthquakes, the King has demonstrated that the unshakable and enduring support our capital has enjoyed from the Crown will continue. And here today, we see the embodiment of that special bond through the young people in attendance from charities under the King's patronage. The Coronation weekend will be a time of national pride and unity, an opportunity for Londoners of every age and background to join in celebration in a way that only royal occasions afford. One of my earliest and fondest memories as a child was lining the streets as the Silver Jubilee procession of Queen Elizabeth II wound its way past our council estate in Earlsfield. So on a personal note, it will be a profound honour to attend the coronation service of King Charles III on behalf of Londoners and witness the beginning of this new chapter in our national history. Allow me to end by just saying this. Over the years, we've learned a great deal about the manner in which our sovereign will lead as a guardian of our environment and the natural world, as someone dedicated to improving the condition of our people through charitable work, as a humanitarian with the belief in the inalienable right to dignity and respect of all. But above all else, as a man committed to the notion of duty. Indeed, some time ago, the then Prince Charles volunteered to undergo parachute training with the army. When asked why he'd willingly jumped out of an aircraft, he replied, "I felt I should lead from the front, or at least be able to some of the things that one expects others to do for the country." A response which reveals incredible devotion to public service. So, on behalf of the people of London, I'd like to extend our warmest congratulations to their Majesties, the King and the Queen Consort, and offer our very best wishes for a long, peaceful and prosperous reign. God save the King.
Thank you, Sadiq. So 10 years ago, in 2013, I Will, one of His Majesty the King's patronages, was founded to showcase the power of youth social action and to encourage others to better involve young people in the decisions that they make. Today, we are joined by two of their young ambassadors to read a poem. We have with us multi-award-winning children and young people's health advocate, Gabrielle Matthews, and Molly Taylor, a serial volunteer who has devoted already 10 years of her life to issues such as human rights, children's rights, and mental health. So Gabrielle and Molly.
A flame of passion burns within, a desire to serve and give to kin, to volunteer with all your heart and make a difference from the start.
Youth is a spark that ignites the flame of passion and compassion that leads to change. Through volunteering, we can find our voice and make a difference, leaving a lasting choice.
In every community, there are needs to meet, from serving meals to making streets neat. Youth can step up and take the lead. With energy and enthusiasm, they can succeed.
Volunteering builds character and empathy. It teaches selflessness and humility. The power of youth is not to be underestimated. Our actions can be impactful and celebrated.
Through volunteering, we learn to care for the world around us and become aware of the struggles and hardships that others face and use our strength to make a better place.
For volunteering is not just a way to help. It's a chance to connect and find oneself, to build community and create bonds, and make a lasting impact beyond.
The power of youth and volunteering combined can create a ripple effect, leaving a mark that shines. We can inspire others to join the cause and create a movement that never pauses.
So let us encourage everyone to volunteer, to find their passion and purpose, and persevere, for we have the power to make a difference and leave a legacy of kindness and brilliance.
For the King's vision of a world of peace is a dream that we can all achieve, and so we join in this great mission to make the world a better vision. Through volunteering and social action, we bring hope and love to those in need with passion.
Thank you, Molly and Gabrielle. So please welcome now the Chair of the London Assembly, Dr. Onka Sahota.
Good morning, friends, colleagues. First of all, I want to thank the I Will ambassadors for their inspirational tribute. It's wonderful to hear from young people as we mark the coronation here at City Hall today. And we also look forward to hearing from the Youth United Foundation later on. Last September, many of us gathered here in the chamber to mark one of the saddest occasions in British history, the loss of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. On behalf of the Assembly and Londoners, I would once again like to offer our deepest condolences to the royal family and those across the country who were touched by her passing. And here, 8 months later on, we're preparing for a coronation in our greatest city this weekend. I'm so pleased to see so many of you here again as we prepare to celebrate the historic day of our great nation, the coronation of Their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla. As Chair of the London Assembly, I would like to take this opportunity to speak on behalf of Londoners and send our warmest wishes to the Majesties King Charles III and Queen Camilla for a glorious reign in peace and happiness. We heard from His Majesty's proclamation speech just how much his mother's values and enduring commitment to our great nation have inspired him to follow her footsteps during his reign. As Prince of Wales, His Majesty has already shown the utmost dedication to public life. From his continued support for the armed forces, to his work with the Prince's Trust, encouraging our nation's young people, he has been an inspiration across all four corners of the country. His Majesty has championed Britain's traditions and values whilst looking forward to the future, from supporting our rural and farming communities to promoting action for a more sustainable world. As the Mayor has said, it's been wonderful to see His Majesty's commitment to our great capital city in recent months, and we look forward to welcoming him to visits that are yet to come. I recently had the honour of meeting His Majesty at a reception at Buckingham Palace for organisations with privileged body status alongside the Mayor, Assembly group leaders and other GLA staff. I had the privilege of speaking to His Majesty and left Buckingham Palace struck by how he put us at ease with his genuine interest in the work of the London Assembly. I was hugely touched by his warmth and approachability. I also want to take a moment to reflect on what an honour it is for our great city to be in the spotlight over this historic weekend, as people come from afar and wide to celebrate the coronation and take the momentous occasion from all over the world. As Chair of the Assembly, I feel proud knowing how welcoming and hospitable Londoners will be to those visiting London. I want to pay special thanks to all those working so hard behind the scenes to ensure that everyone can enjoy the coronation here this weekend. And thank you also to the Soul Sanctuary Gospel Choir for their beautiful music already this morning, from whom we will now hear again. On behalf of Londoners, we offer our heartfelt wishes to their Majesties on the occasion of their coronation. God save the King. Happy and glorious, long may he reign.
Celebrate good times, come on. It's a celebration. Celebrate good times, come on. There's a party going on right here. A celebration lasts throughout the year. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We're gonna celebrate this party with you. Come on now. Celebration. It's time to celebrate and have a good time. Yeah. Celebrations. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on. Woo-hoo. 'Cause it's a celebration, yeah. Yes it is, yes it is, yeah. Woo-hoo. For the King's coronation. Celebrate good times, come on. Yeah, a time of celebration, yes. Celebrate good times, come on. Yeah, there's a party going on celebration.
Thank you again. Soul Sanctuary Gospel Choir, you have put us all in the mood for the weekend's parties. You can see the smiles and the tapping of feet all the way around the chamber. Thank you very much. And thank you too, Onka, for your tribute. So moving on now to Youth United Foundation, another of His Majesty's the King's patronages. The foundation works tirelessly to ensure that every young person, regardless of background or location, has the opportunity to become a member of a uniformed youth group, developing the skills and experiences to help overcome barriers and be the best that they can be. And we're going to hear now a poem from Royal Air Force Cadet Ivor Morganti and Luke Stevenson, a youth panel representative from St John's Ambulance. So Ivar and Luke.
Good morning. My name is Ivor Morganti, and I'm here today as a member of the Youth United Foundation's Youth Panel. The Foundation is a charity that aims to increase participation in uniformed youth groups across the UK by providing funding, resources and support. The Youth United Foundation is honoured and privileged to hold the royal patronage of His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, recently reassigned from His Majesty, King Charles III. One of the key initiatives of the Foundation is the Youth United Network, which brings together 11 uniformed youth organisations to work together. Passionate about social action and uniformed youth, His Majesty brought together the heads of the nation's leading uniformed youth groups to form the first collaborative network for uniformed youth. Inspired by his values of harmony, cohesion, and collaboration, the network generates and facilitates programs that span across the UK, targeting hard-to-reach young people, creating new opportunities, and sustaining pre-existing units. Today, the Foundation's network works directly with 1.5 million young people, aged between 4 and 24. The Youth United Foundation also has a youth panel, which I'm proud to be part of. The panel is formed from young people who have participated in uniformed youth groups and are passionate about making a difference in their communities. The youth panel provides a platform for young people to influence the work of the Foundation, to discuss a range of issues such as recruitment and diversity and inclusion, whilst also working with partner organisations and government departments. One of the members of the youth network is the Royal Air Force Air Cadets, a uniformed youth organisation I've had the great opportunity to be involved in. From joining as a cadet at the age of 12 right here in London, to now volunteering as a project officer for London and the southeast of the UK, I am thankful for the vast opportunities that were available to me that allowed me to develop essential life skills, build resilience, and make a positive contribution to my community. So with that in mind, I look back fondly at my time in a uniformed youth organisation, and I will continuously remember His Majesty's vision of harmony and collaboration in uniformed youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivor. I'd like to read you all a poem called Young Hearts of the United Kingdom. In the United Kingdom's land so fair, youth organisations proudly share guides, scouts, cadets and brigades, their service and duty, a commitment that never fades. With hearts full of passion and minds so bright, they serve with pride and with all of their might, learning skills and building friendship, their service an inspiration to all who witness. In their ranks young leaders emerge, guiding their way with their noble surge, instilling values that will never die. Their service, a beacon that lights up the sky. Their work embodies the ethos of the Crown, to serve with honour and lift people from the ground, to build a nation that stands firm and strong, to help those in need and right the wrong. So let us celebrate these young hearts, their service and courage a work of art. May their dedication inspire us all to uphold these values and answer the call. Guides, scouts, cadets and brigades, throughout the United Kingdom their legacy is laid, a tribute to service that never fades, their work a testament to the monarchy's grace.
Thank you very much, Ivar and Luke. So we will now hear from 6 members of London's communities of faith and those of none. And I am going to firstly introduce all 6 representatives, and then they will come individually to the lectern. But we have with us today the Very Reverend Andrew Nunn, Dean of Southwark, Rabbi Miriam Berger, Principal Rabbi, Finchley Reform Synagogue, Zara Mohammed, Muslim Council of Britain, Ranish Kashyap, General Secretary, Hindu Council UK, Deborah Hooper, Director of Ceremonies, Humanist UK, and Gurpreet Singh Anand, President of Khalsa Jatha, British Isles. Thank you.
As Mary reminded us right at the beginning, most of us here are too young to have witnessed the coronation. But the king watched his mother being crowned. He was just 4 years old. And if you Google it, there's a lovely photograph of him at the coronation, stood between his grandmother, the Queen Mother, and his auntie, Princess Margaret, looking distinctly bored as the Archbishop placed the crown on his mother's head. Did he think then that this would one day happen to him? The king has served the longest apprenticeship of anyone, stood in the wings, developed his own passions, travelled the world, toured the country, in waiting, preparing. On Saturday, we will watch as the crown is placed on his head and our expectations placed on him alongside it. One of his illustrious predecessors was given the title Defender of the Faith. As a priest of the Church of England, I am proud of the privileged position that we hold, but I am also conscious of the responsibility that goes with that. So my expectation, my hope, will be that from that solid Christian foundation, the clear example given to him by his mother, the late Queen, and conscious of the title he bears, the king will defend each of us in faithful living. Faith is important to him, his faith, but your faith, and the faith of my sisters and brothers with me today, and the faith of those, well, the position of those who do not use the language of faith. For those of us here from the Abrahamic traditions, it's the salam, the shalom, the peace that is at the heart of our faiths, that we want our King and Queen to champion, the peace which passes understanding, but that speaks of all that our world and creation needs. And so I pray, majestic God, whose reign knows no end, whose throne is justice, mercy, and peace, bless your servant Charles, our King, that anointed by grace, he may serve us in your name and humbly lead us in your kingdom ways. Amen.
Eternal God, sovereign of the universe and creator of all life, we stand together at this solemn and historic hour to celebrate the coronation of our King, Charles III. We ask you, God, to sustain and support the King's service to this nation, to the realms, and to the Commonwealth. Endow him with righteousness, that he may support us all to fulfill our task on earth. May he rise above politics, to strive for a fair and just society where all can live with security and freedom, having all their basic needs met with dignity. May he foster an environment in which people of all faiths and none may live harmoniously, reaching beyond tolerance to a love of diversity. May he courageously speak out against cruelty and injustice, leading by example to live in harmony with nature, conserving its resources and beauty for future generations, reminding us to steward tenderly so that we may too reap in joy. May he continue to fulfill the role of monarch that the British public have treasured for decades, that figurehead who holds and reassures at times of anxiety or distress. May he hold his family and the whole country in a way that brings pride and recognition beyond our shores, allowing our allegiance to him to bind us together with harmony. Ana melech malchei hamlachim, shemalchutecha malchut kol olamim, lemalkeinu chen chayim arukim. Supreme Sovereign, whose reign is everlasting, grant long life to our Sovereign King Charles. Yavrachehu v'yishmerehu yashiehu l'chayim tovim. May God bless him and keep him, protect him for a good and long life.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, most gracious and most merciful, as we congratulate King Charles on this wonderful coronation celebration, we ask ourselves, what does this moment mean for all of us? In a Britain that is ever so diverse, in which the many colours, cultures, faiths, and all of us form that new tapestry of a changing society, one of inclusion, one of diversity, and one of hope and strength, we reflect on King Charles' legacy already. He is regarded as a great friend of Islam and of Muslims. And for many young British Muslims, he is someone who's always encouraged, always inspired, and always fostered a sense of leadership and a you can attitude. And as we think about this historic occasion, we think about our hopes for a monarchy, one which will stand for justice, one which will continue to espouse that importance of a Britain that belongs to all, a Britain that is made up of us all, and a monarchy that will be able to steer a country through a challenging time. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, says, the best of believers are those who are the best to all of humanity. And what King Charles continues to do is espouse that very quality, to be a true servant to all of humanity. And as we look ahead to his reign, and as we look ahead to the challenges that our country is facing, we look deep inside all of ourselves as faith communities. And we think of the role that we can all play together. And in saying that, we hope that he has a prosperous reign, one full of blessings, of peace, but one that continues to inspire and to encourage communities to come together. And as I was reflecting on a verse from the Holy Quran, Allah, God says, and we created you, nations and tribes, so that you may get to know one another. And so the idea here is that we should all continue to get to know one another, and we pray that King Charles and the Queen Consort's reign will continue to help us get to know one another for a better and stronger Britain. Ameen. Thank you.
Namaste and good morning. Today we gather here to reflect on the hope and expectations we have for our new king, King Charles III. As a Hindu, and on behalf of my community, I would like to share my thoughts on this auspicious occasion. We all are filled with hope and anticipation as our new king ascends to the throne. We expect him to lead our nation with courage, compassion, and wisdom. We hope that he will be unifying force for our people and will work towards the betterment of our society. As Hindu, we believe in values of dharma, which include justice, fairness, and integrity. We hope that as a defender of faith, our new king will work towards creating a society that is inclusive and tolerant, where all individuals are treated with dignity and respect. We expect him to be a visionary monarch who will guide our nation towards a brighter and more prosperous future. In conclusion, let us all offer our support and blessing to our new king as he embarks on this journey. May he fulfill our expectations and bring hope and prosperity to our nation. I would like to read a small prayer from Vedas for the stability and prosperity of the nation. Dhruvam te Raja Varuna, Dhruvam Deva Bhraspati, Dhruvam te Indrascha Agnischa Rastram Dharyatam Dhruvam. May the Lord Varun, the divine Bhraspati, may the Lord Indra, the Agni, forever give stability to our nations and bless the new king. Namaste.
Good morning. The humanist approach to life is that of thinking for oneself about life's big questions and treating others with kindness and empathy in pursuit of a better world for everyone. It's an approach shared by millions of people in this city and millions more around the country who live by values of free thinking, rational inquiry, love for one another, and hope for a better world. To humanists, the coronation is not just a pageant to pledge loyalty to the king as our head of state, but a chance to reflect on what high office in all its forms should be, and that is loyalty and service to this country and its people. Today, ideas of democracy, freedom of thought, freedom of expression, and freedom of choice run through this nation. Humanists don't believe these concepts came to us from on high. We see that they were argued for and won by the people of this country, and they have evolved over time with improved understanding of different ways of life, of what it means to be equal, to be human. That is a process that is ongoing to this day, to this moment. At the ministerial on freedom of religion or belief last year, the King spoke of championing a diversity of voices and interests so that everyone, everywhere is able to follow their chosen religion or belief in peace and safety. True words and ideals we must commit ourselves to each day. On behalf of Humanists UK and the non-religious people of London, I wish King Charles III and Queen Camilla the strength and love of their family and friends, and the wisdom of good and loyal advisors. May it serve them and all of us well for years to come.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. On behalf of the Khalsa Jatha British Isles, which is the oldest Sikh institution in the United Kingdom, we're here to celebrate with you all the coronation of King Charles and Queen Consort Camilla. The coronation has a particular part in our history. Although we were started in 1908, it was in 1911 that another king, the Maharaja Bhupendra Singh of Patiala, granted a property in Putney for the Sikh community to use as a place of worship on the coronation of King George V to celebrate that coronation. So the coronation of King Charles has particular meaning to the Sikh community, as the coronation of kings is part of our history too. As a Sikh, sovereignty and a sovereign has a lot of meaning because it's something that we look at in our life. How do we take sovereignty in our life to do good for the world around us? And I'd like to read a small passage from the Sukhmani Sahib, which is the prayer of peace written by the 5th Sikh Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Prabh ko simro, se tanvante. Those who remember God are wealthy. Prabh ko simre, se patwante. Those who remember God are honorable. Prabh ko simro, se jan parvan. Those who remember God are approved. Prabh ko simre, se purkh pradhan. Those who remember God are the most distinguished. Prabh ko simro, se bemuhtaje. Those who remember God are not lacking. Prabh ko simre, se sas ge raje. Those who remember God are the rulers of all. Prabh ko simro, so sukhvase. Those who remember God dwell in peace. Prabh ko simro, sada abhinasi. Those who remember God are immortal and eternal. Simran te lage, jin aap deala. They alone hold to the remembrance of him unto whom he himself shows his mercy. Nanak jan ki mange ravala. Guru Nanak, the founder of the Sikh faith, he begs for the dust of the feet of such people. Thank you, everyone, and wishing King Charles a long and prosperous reign. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Thank you all very much for your contributions today. So I now invite you all to stand, if you are able, for the British National Anthem. Thank you for joining us to celebrate this historic occasion, marking the coronation of Their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Camilla. You are now all very welcome to join us in London's living room to continue the celebration with refreshments. And there is coronation quiche. Thank you, everybody.